guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you are. I hope you guys are doing wonderful, staying safe, and just taking day at a moment. My name is Parul Agrawal, and I have the honor and the pleasure of interviewing some of the best authors here on my Secret Bookshelf's Instagram page. My Secret Bookshelf is, as you all know, is a very great company that helps and supports authors promote and market their book. I am a publisher and an author myself, and I have been truly, honored as well as it has been a great experience working with my Secret Bookshelf. So here I am today, and I will be interviewing a wonderful author, Madilynn, and also I will be talking about her book, about her work. At the same time, I'll be speaking with one of the bloggers that has blogged and reviewed her book. So, it's always a great idea to learn about the book from the actual readers. And that's why we always try to bring actual readers in place before we talk to the author. And the author also feels really good. I'm an author and I know how it works. The author also feels wonderful if we really talk about their book and ask about their book from actual readers. So I am just looking at a man. Is she here? She or he? I am looking for her. Hopefully I can see Madilynn. So hi Madilynn, I hope you're doing wonderful, and we will be talking again very soon. So let's see what these emojis, Instagram, I would say, is not one of my favorite mediums here because I'm still learning, still trying to figure out how all these things work. Hi Neelam, hope you're doing wonderful. Neelam is another great author, children's books authors and children's books marketer, and such an honor to, read her books and work with her as well. I did see Antra a while back, but I think I lost her again. So why don't I do this, as we are still waiting for the person who reviewed this book. I don't see her online. Maybe let me invite Madilynn on our live here, and I'll start the interviews with her. And then as soon as, Ayman comes, we can interview her. So let me go ahead and invite Madilynn here. There you go. So how is everybody doing? My Sunday is just starting, but I know some of you are ahead of us. Hello, Madilynn. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Wonderful speaking with you. How has things been?
Been okay. It's been an eventful week. I actually broke my hand this week, so.
Oh, you burnt your hand this week? I'm sorry, say
Yeah,
it again. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Are you doing better now?
I am. It makes things a little bit more difficult, but I'm doing good.
Oh my gosh. And was it like your primary hand, right hand or left hand?
It's my left, so thankfully I still have my right hand, but
Okay, okay. Oh my gosh. And I see a little fur puppy or fur baby in the
yeah,
background.
my cat. She's probably gonna just hang out while we talk.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So where are you based, Madilynn?
I am based out of Oklahoma, USA, and
Okay.
the small town of Oklahoma City. I guess you could call it small.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and even though it's big, people think that it's small, and they're like, "Oh, is that the village next to Los Angeles?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the village next to Los Angeles." So, it's such an honor speaking with you, and today I just wanted you to be, in the limelight, and I'll bring the reviewer who reviewed your book later in our conversation. But tell us about your book and your projects that you have been working on, and how. Tell us about how you share your genius with the world.
Well, Releasing Her Power Within is the first book of a series I'm working on. It is about a group of fae that are in our human world, but the main character is Liz. She's a physical therapist assistant. She has no idea of her magical abilities. They've been hidden from her. And after her mother passes, who was living in her grandmother's cabin, she discovers all these crazy things and is given a new opportunity to take a new job and find a new love at the small town that her family originated from. And she discovers there's more to their family than what she thought. So, and then I have another book that's coming out July 1st. It's a paranormal romance novel.
Oh my
That's going
God.
to be an interesting book too. So,
So what made you write about this particular genre? And I'm assuming like uh, what kind of age group and demographics do you target from your work?
this book is more for 18 and older age
Okay.
groups, just because there's some language in it and mention of sex and stuff. So I guess I target more of that. I hope to target a younger generation in the future with books, because I would love to write something that my son can read when he's a little bit older. But right now, that's like my focus is for 18 and older age groups.
So
And then the whole
how old are your
fantasy,
children right now?
he is two
How
and a half.
Oh my God.
So he's
Okay.
got a little bit, but he's already interested in reading books. He loves looking at the alphabet and different animals that go with the letters, and he can say the letters and identify them, but he can't sing it quite yet. But we'll get there. We're still working on it. So
Oh, yes, I have a daughter, 2.5 as well. I mean, almost 3, so I completely understand. But, it always amazes me. I'm a nonfiction author and I help people publish nonfiction books. So it's different for me, right? I mean, if I know the topic, I can write. But it always amazes me how authors in the fiction side find the time to write fiction with all this going on in our lives. So, would you like to share about maybe your writing schedule? How do you manage writing books with a 2.5-year-old? That's truly, something. You must be really passionate about writing.
I am, and I do a lot of reading. It's my schedule is so crazy with the writing thing. I do a lot of staying up late at night after he goes to bed or during nap time working on books. I also have it where I can access my document to write on my phone, which super comes in handy right now with my broke hand. I can do it one-handed on my phone instead of using both hands to type. But really, it's mostly when he's asleep, or if he'll let me sit at the table and type, I can get away with that. But a lot of the time, he doesn't like that. He likes all of my attention. So just kind of hit or miss during nap time, and after he goes to sleep is when I write. So
Cool. So what app did you mention you use on your phone? Is there a particular app or notes or?
I have Word downloaded to my phone, but I use a lot of Google Docs. That way I can access the manuscript pretty much from anywhere while I'm working on it. When it comes down to like formatting and really working on proofreading and spell check and everything, I tend to download it to Word on my computer and go through it that way. That way I can kind of slowly, methodically go through everything line by line before like sending it off to have it looked over again.
That's what that makes things so much easier, having things on your phone. But I always say that, if you are passionate about something, then sleep disappears, honestly, because you're
Yes,
so,
it does.
yeah, yeah, so engrossed in things, right? So when was this book released? I mean, when did, and how long did it take you to actually, start from concept to actually publish the book?
Oh, I think I started, this one is actually an idea that stemmed off a book. I wrote kind of like a hodgepodge mesh of an idea of a book that I tried to send off to publishers before I went with the self-publishing route. So this idea stemmed from kind of that idea, and I started working on it last year in October, and I finished it early March, I believe. So it was a constant, like, I couldn't keep myself away from the computer to work on it kind of thing. And I just went from there. So
Wow. And do you have the book right now handy? Would you like to show it to people, the
I
cover and stuff?
actually don't. I didn't even think about grabbing it. I should have
Okay.
though.
Maybe, maybe I can ask Antra if she could, if she has a cover and I could send it. Normally she's very good, but this time, I mean, this week has been a little bit crazy for me also. I was playing with my children and I got hurt. So I got a blood clot in my foot. And
Oh
so all day yesterday and day before, it was paining like really bad. So I was not in my best senses, so to speak, as well. Yeah. So, Madilynn, how was your experience self-publishing the book?
it's definitely a learning experience. It was a lot more overwhelming at first than I
Mm-hmm.
expected it to be. Um, I did like that I had more control over everything I was doing,
Right.
when it was going to come out, what the cover and stuff looked like, what it said, and where I could market it. I really liked having that. And then like just promoting it on Facebook and social media, I have control of that too, and I like being able to do that.
Okay, that makes sense. Absolutely. More say. And then I always tell authors that, rather than waiting, because, the best day to write a book was yesterday, the second best is today, right? So rather than waiting, self-publish it. And I have seen a lot of my authors get into traditional publishing deals after their first book was released, maybe for the second book or uh, you know foreign rights of the same book as well. So I think one of the authors, and isn't Liz sketched as you are in real life? I think that's a question about your one of your characters in the book.
What was the question? Sorry.
Is this is Liz sketched as you are in real life?
No, but she does have a lot of similar qualities to me. I'm also a licensed physical therapist assistant, so I use kind of my knowledge from working in the field as a physical therapist assistant to create the skills and things that happen with Liz in the book. Some of them are kind of loosely based off real life experiences. She definitely, I could definitely see myself hanging out with Liz if she was a real person, but she does have a lot of similar qualities to me, but is not based off of me.
Okay, so I think I have your book cover and I'll just share it on my screen and it looks beautiful. Who
Thank
designed
you.
your cover?
My husband actually did. It took you quite a bit of time to get it done, but
This is so, I mean, it's so engrossing. It's so powerful. I love the cover.
thank
So
you.
let's see. Yeah, it is. So did he like sketch it or did you get an image or something?
We did purchase an image, and then we kind of messed with it, added things to it, changed it, and did a lot of just a lot of rearranging and changing of colors and formatting, that kind of thing to the book cover. It's definitely come a long ways from what it originally was.
It looks beautiful, releasing her power within. So what is this Phase Shifters one? Is it like a series name or by Madilynn Dale, FAE Shifters One?
Say Shifters 1. Say the question again. Sorry, it froze up
What
on
do you
my
mean?
end.
What do you mean by that? Because I'm assuming Releasing Her Power Within is the title of the book. So,
Yeah,
Face Shifters One, what is that?
that is signifying the start of the book series it's going to be a part of. I am currently working on book 2 of the Face Shifters. It's going to give more detail of like what's going on with Liz and her boyfriend Cam, and kind of you can follow their love story more in the second novel. It also brings in her best friend Tiff more, which there's a whole nother twist there with her that I think everyone's gonna like, that I'm gonna throw in. But we'll get to learn more about what's going on with her and her background and how she ties into things. And we learn a lot more about what's going on in their world with the Fae realm, and her she basically gets to meet more of her family from the magical side of things in book 2. I'm really excited to get it done. I just can't get it done as fast as I'd like right now. But there's
And that is
so much
releasing
more
in
going
July.
on. Duet?
That book is releasing in July.
No, this is the one releasing in July is a separate book. It's a standalone romance novel, but it's also has paranormal fantasy creatures in it as well. I stopped working on book 2 and kind of had to get this idea down on paper, and now I'm back working on book 2. So book 2, I'm hoping will be released this fall. If I can get my hand healed up, it'll be done even faster. But I'm shooting for maybe late October, November for this second book to come out for this series.
So, how did you get inspiration to write these kind of series and books? What inspired you? And I also was wondering about the process. I know, like, you kind of make notes and stuff like that, and then you sit down and write. But do you also work with editors or, proofreaders after you are done, or while you're writing the book? Like, do you have a team of people you brainstorm your ideas with?
I do actually. There is a girl I went to high school with. She gives me a lot of honest feedback with my ideas and stuff. And then my mom, she's a teacher, so I kind of utilize her background with her education to kind of help me with ideas and proofreading and stuff. And my husband is also very particular about his grammar and his wording. He did a lot of that. He does a lot of that for me too. I bounce ideas off of him, and he's like, "Wait, which book are we talking about again? What idea are you talking about again?" So just those main people, then a couple other people that I'm friends with from work, and just my best friends kind of give me feedback on ideas too. So
That's wonderful. It is always best when we have our friends and family members, who can appreciate as well as critique our book, because we know that there are no filters, and whatever they are saying is for our biggest, benefit, right? So,
yeah.
and then coming back to my previous question, what did you always want to write such kind of books, or what inspired you, or just one morning you wake up and you thought, hey, I had to write such kind of a book?
I've always wanted to write, and when I was younger, I would write short stories and just like draw out pictures to go with the stories. And I did a little bit of writing off and on through high school. I mostly focused on just reading books because it was a little bit easier with the way my schedule worked. And during school, I think I was involved in almost everything they offered if I could. And then even during college, I was just focusing on my studies. But I kind of took that leap and just went for it and decided to try to publish something in the last year and see where it went from there. And it's almost like it's just opened a well of creativity within me, and I can't turn it off. So I just keep writing, keep reading, and go with it.
That's wonderful, that's amazing. When you have all this to share, why not share it? But,
Mhm.
I'm just curious to know, was it, I know like self-publishing is relatively faster and stuff, but was it, how was your experience after the book was released? How well was it received? And were you able to market it the way that you expected to market it? Or was it, I mean, of course, it probably recently released, so it's too soon to say anything because um, it's still sort of in the launch phase.
Yeah.
But is there something, if there is a new author who wants to self-publish a book, what would be your advice to that person once the book is released? How to market the book?
Um, well, let me think of this. I definitely when I published Releasing Her Power Within, it came more of a shock to a lot of people. I didn't tell very many people I was working on writing a book, and when I shared it a lot on Facebook after I published it, um, and then I did a online book tour with an amazing book blog that um, I've been helping out with on occasion. And they did a lot of media posts for me and helped create kind of like a flow of readers interested in my book, helped me get it out there more. And then I try to promote it on social media, create little pictures to market it as best as I can, and just share it as much and as often as possible. So I mean, if you want to do the self-publishing route, it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding. So,
It is. Absolutely, absolutely. So good, wonderful speaking with you, Madilynn. And I really want to bring the reviewer also on our call. But just before we hang up, do you have any last words? And I forgot, what would be the title of the book that you're releasing in July? And do you have a date for it, or is it still in work in progress?
it is set and ready to go. It will be out July 1st. It is Breaking Traditions: The Shifter and the Mage. It's a standalone novel right now. I've played with the idea of turning it into a series too, but we'll see later down the road. Um, it is it's available for pre-order on Amazon right now. And I'll have everything up for book 2 here before long. So yeah, thank you guys for having me today.
Oh, wonderful. It was wonderful speaking with you. So please do remember her wonderful book, Standalone Paranormal Romance, is releasing on July 1st. It's already available on Amazon as a pre-order. So please go ahead and get it and show her some love, show us some love. Thank you so much, Madilynn. Thank you for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us on your Sunday morning, and good luck and for your next book. And please do let us know so we could also share with all our readers when the book comes out. Thank you so much and have a
Thank
wonderful
you. You too.
bye. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you. So now I would like to bring the huge bookstagrammer on our call. Let's see if I can bring her. Yes, the huge. I'm sorry, it's not huge, it's huge. One second, it's not her, that's her. So wonderful, right, people? So if you have a passion, then obviously your sleep disappears. And we learned from Madilynn, even after having such a busy lifestyle and such a. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
And is that, I'm sorry, I
I'm
don't
not
know
able
the
to
legal
hear
name.
your video.
What's your name?
My name is Ayman. Hi,
Ayman. Hi, how are you, Ayman?
I'm good. And you?
I'm doing wonderful also, but I
It's
can
like,
hear some
wait,
echo and I can see myself.
I guess there's something with the quality, I believe. I don't know. Maybe internet is not working in my favor today. I can say that least.
And I'm not
I
able
can
to
see
see
you
your
well. I can hear
face.
well.
Can you like move your screen a bit down so I could see your
Oh,
face
wait,
now?
yeah. Yeah. I'm not able to just set it somewhere nice so that you could see me. I just need to find a proper place to set it. Just hold on a bit. Wait a
No
second.
problem.
Thank you.
So I was just telling our viewers that it's so wonderful, if you're passionate about something, you really do it, right? I mean, that's what we learned from Madeline. She has a job, she has a happier, but even
I
that
hope it
doesn't
works
stop
for
her from
you.
writing books.
Definitely, definitely. So wait, yeah. Is it better now this
It's
way?
much better, but you are still
Thank you.
we would like to see your beautiful face and your beautiful
Are
voice.
you now?
Hear it better. This
Are
is
you now
good.
able to see me?
Yes, much better, much
Okay.
better.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about the book like from the start, or I just have to tell you about it, something I believe in about the book, particular book. So right from the start, the title, it's like releasing the power within. So you could, you can feel that there is something about self discovery, self introspection, or maybe a series of events that would lead to your self discovery, something like that. So when I picked this particular book, I knew that there something has to be about the self discovery part. So it is there from the character of Liz. So I had asked the question about the similarities between Madilynn and Liz. It's of three reasons, because of three reasons. So the first one was that they both are physical therapy assistants. So that was the first similarity. And as I got to know about Madilynn, so I was like, okay, she's trying to just create similar character to herself, and I found it cute. Something like it was like recreating yourself, right? And you like to add something about yourself in that character, or like you are adding something, you're making it feel like more personal. That is what I felt when I read about it. So it was something, the character Liz, she's a protagonist and she doesn't know about her powers, and she's a human shifter and what her ancestors are. So it's like very normal till that she discovers everything. Is like, I was like, what I'm getting into, I had to read something about self discovery, right? And as I scrolled through, I guess around 107 pages, I wasn't even able to understand what am I getting into, because it wasn't clear up to that point. It was very normal brewing coffee, which I like most because I'm like connected to coffee a lot. So I didn't mind, like there is mention of coffee a lot, so I was enjoying that. So, but other than that, I was like, there should have been avoided. These monotonous details could have been avoided, because I think when we read fantasy, we're expecting something ordinary, something paranormal, something like, something that would set you on your toes, like what next? What is going to happen next? Which creature is going to come up? So you do expect that kind of a thing. So I was expecting that much from the book, but I guess around 107 pages, I was scrolling and there was nothing, like I wasn't able to get a single clue about the paranormal creatures, basically about the fantasy feel, fantasy vibe. It was very normal, but as soon as Liz discovers that she is not a normal human being, I think everything does seem to fall into place, and you get to know, yeah, there has to be a sequel. It cannot be like summed up into like a 50 pages, right? So it's like 50 pages at the end that there is something about paranormal things. But other than that, it's very a good read. It's a friendly read, basically. I've actually liked how Liz is as a person, how she connects to people, how she's not like pretending stuff just for the sake of it, and she's just doing things because she loves doing them. Be it helping people out, being spending time in the outdoors, particularly the beginning of the scene that is so inviting. I just wanted to rush to that place, sit there, and absorb the silence, because that scene is written so beautifully. Like everything feels like, okay, this is it. This is where I have to be. I have to sit. I have to grab a book, a cup of coffee, and done. I'm done with the book. So it was very good. And other than that, I liked about the way she's written about her friend Tiff. Liz and Tiff, they share a beautiful bond. They share graceful boundaries. They have their own space, yet they are very good friends. They can fill each other on the missing details, but they have their private space. They are not intriguing into their each other's space. They have that room for each other, that they can be friends, but they can sit together and do their own things, and which I actually like, because I think there should be some personal space. Even when you are very close to people, you should give them some space to be themselves, right? Like you can read a book, they can do their own thing, they can write, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a conversation to I want to sustain. So that's also something I liked. And other than that, I would want to add some more details, but yeah, Also, I would think I was very, very, very fascinated by the concept of human shifters. It was very good to know about them, like how they shift from a normal human being to a human shifter. Like they can be a mountain lion one time, they can move the universe one time, and other times they're just simple normal human beings. It's like very, you're one moment you're very powerful, and other moment you're like, okay, you're very normal, you cannot even contain your own self. So I just like that. And yeah, I just hope that some changes there have to be made. Like when you write a fantasy novel, you need to be, you need to contain your details. You need to write the story precisely so that you could fill up on the other details. You can fill up on the story. You can't just write about, I just woke up, I made a coffee, the coffee is good. It's good to write about these things, but I think the repetition should be avoided. I cannot read about the coffee thing, the normal routine a lot of times when it comes to fantasy. So I just can't do that. So basically, I think these were some details I would not have liked there. The story should have been precise. The wording was good. No errors there. But yeah, that is what I would like to talk about the book. Overall, it was a fine read for me. I would not say it was a very good read, but I won't say it was not a good effort. It was a debut novel, so she does deserve all the rewards for it. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you for listening so patiently. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I mean, I love it.
Any,
Actually, I can hear my own voice, so I won't be able to talk much, but
okay.
I can see your passion in book just by the way you are talking about this book. And I can see like what kind of engaged reader you are, and authors love readers like you. So thank you for reading her book,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for reading all the other books and reviewing them. And it was such
Thank you
a
for listening
wonderful.
to me patiently.
Not at all, not at all. I loved it. Now, in fact, people would be excited to read the book, and it was wonderful speaking with you. So, thank you, and you have
Thank
a
you
good
so
night.
much. Thank you too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Ayman, and she was one of the wonderful readers of the book. And I think she gave you a very concise overview about the book, and it excited me to read the book, and I hope it excites you also to read the book. And it was, such a this Sunday morning here. I just woke up. It's 8:30 a.m. in the place in Arizona where I live, and I woke up, a while back, and it's so for me personally, I was thinking, why the hell am I going and doing these interviews? But now I know why, because it's always so exciting to actually talk to people who are truly passionate about their fields. It infuses a new passion in you. So if you're a writer, if you are a reader, or whatever field you are working in, doesn't have to be an author, but if you're truly passionate about something, then it gives you, that excitement to just wake up out of the bed, or maybe, burn the night oil and just finish what you're doing and do it to the best of your abilities. And that is what we have learned from Madilynn today, because, even being with a little one, fulfilling all her daily chores, she still writes novels, and she's so passionate that she's now writing a series, and her second novel is also coming out. And likewise from Ivan, she was so engrossed in the book, and she was so enthusiastic to read the book. So what I learned from today's conversation is, you really need to love your job, and you will fall in love with either writing or, reading, if you're doing it from the heart. So that was me, Parul Agrawal, speaking with you from My Secret Shelf Instagram page. And My Secret Bookshelf, run by Antra, is a wonderful company for book marketing. So do reach out to them if you have a book coming out in the near future, or if you already have a book, they can also help you with promotion of a previously launched book. So that's it from me now. And thank you, Antra, for giving this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to speak with these authors, because that also inspires me to be a better author and write and actually learn more about author life. So thank you, guys, and stay safe, stay healthy wherever you are, and have a good night or good day, depending upon your time zone. Bye. Take care.